Let me make sure my stream is ready. Yep, it started. Okay, guys, welcome back. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some more mapping of this war. And I'm sorry I haven't done anything over the past, I don't know, 2 weeks or so. I've just had a lot I had to do. And not only that, but over the next week, unlike last time I was off, because obviously I am off for Easter. Happy Easter, by the way. Or Resurrection Sunday, for those of you who are Christian. If you're not Christian, or you are Christian, but you just don't really celebrate Easter that much, or you just don't celebrate Resurrection Sunday, you celebrate Easter, happy Easter to you. But, yeah. So, we're playing currently in the April Fool's update of this Minecraft right here, which means special textures, which you could probably do in a super oh, that's right. Snooper? Okay. I don't know what that is. Anyway, where we left off last time was this rebel group took over a lot of land. Still has no defined territory. As they were still, so they would still have to take on these men right here for that control, but these guys didn't really want it, and that's sort of how we continued to have control over right here and right here until their fall to the Empire of the Danube, which is what these guys became known. These guys right here, the Empire of the Danube. Their capital was right here on the Danube. So, well, the Danube River anyway. This little river that goes down in here, we call the Danube. This river that divided their land from here to here was called the River Danube. So, this right here we named because it was the first place that we landed on this island. We called it the Danube. So, yeah. Anyway, the continued expansion from this nation right here, Sharishia, from the capital of Astapor, continued to fight the Islamic State. Now, with my nation, or what was my nation, a while before this actually, this was like a half a year away from my actual presence, but anyway, we sort of allied with the Islamic State, and I would never have done this, but we made an alliance with the Islamic State to try and fight off these guys, because they were trying to come for our territories up until the point where the rebels claimed hold of this area. Oh, and I went to go see a movie today, and I'm just going to sort of talk about that while I'm doing this. And we went to see Paul, the Apostle of Christ. And I liked it. It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. Anyway, so the reason that this was so strategic is that it divided one of our allies up here, the Islamic State, well, our only ally, really, from the south here. There was a new river that was actually constructed not too long ago. from this point that connected the north from to the south, and it came off of this part of the river right here. I actually sort of feel like I want them to keep these textures. I know this is just like a April Fool's thing, but I really wish they would keep this. Anyway, this new river that we found connected or divided these two into giant islands, making the world just a bunch of islands that would have to be connected to each other. And that sort of annoyed the hell out of me, actually, during the times whenever I used to want to fight wars. I would love islands because they would mean that all the land that I captured would be easy to defend. Now it just meant that I had to fight off more and more and more, and I couldn't. I couldn't do it. Anyway, with the Danubian Empire expanding itself out further than what it already had, and declaring itself officially independent with defined borders and defined wars, because it declared itself independent and gave itself all of the territory that it held at that time, it was now at war with the tribal connection, albeit the fact that the tribal connection couldn't really do anything sort of helped its claim over the land. However, its capital was very, very close to both the tribal connection lands, the Islamic State, and our held territories in the east. I mean, they completely screwed themselves by where they put their capital. Danube. However, the way they spell Danube the Danubian Empire, or Empire. I'll just call it an empire, but they called it the Empire. The Danubian Empire. Funny how they spelled the city name different than the country name. I always found that funny about the Danubian Empire. But, yeah, so they did, to gain control over this land over here, they landed here and effectively divided the different nations of the Islamic world, or the Islamic State. Obviously, Arabia was still Islamic at this time. However, it's not anymore, and that'll sort of come into play later whenever I use my secondary free play pass, which I lost relatively quickly after being dethroned. But that's for a later time period, because right now we're talking about this and we're not talking about the revolutions of Arabia. Although I really want to talk about that now. Anyway, with the Danubian Empire, expanding itself out to match Arabia. Arabia found itself claiming more and more of the land that was supposed to be the land set aside for native tribes. Because of that, the Danube officially annexed all of the remaining land and declared war on Arabia. This war went absolutely, positively, very, very well for the Danubian Empire, as these guys had troops over here, but Arabia was currently embroiled in a conflict with the Islamic State and Caesarea. So, yeah, all this land was actually handed to the native tribes of the land to find out what they wanted to be done with it. All of it. All of the land over here, except for the Arabian lands, past it. Isn't that cool? Oh, it's fucking late. It's 1:05. I need to get to sleep. How long have we been streaming? Because I know I haven't streamed in a while. Oh, I feel like crap. We've only been streaming for like 11 minutes. Anyway, because of this, Arabia then invaded this land with the aid of the southernmost Prussian armies, and the Prussians pushed in and took land on the southernmost borders, dividing the natives from any help, because the Danubian connection moved all their troops back over here to fight the Islamic State and to defend against us, their capital, which meant they would have to march over 1,000, actually over 2.5 million blocks in the overworld. This was whenever we implemented a new system that was sort of like the Never, where it was a quicker mode of transportation, but not the quickest mode in the game. Anyway, it was also when we sort of implemented the Minecraft implications of the game. Beforehand, we hadn't used any blocky type of things, and then now we just sort of used blocks to measure things. But that was because it was easier than creating an entirely new system once the software that we used to create the game updated. So, that was cool. That was actually pretty cool. It was a good idea given to us and adapted by anything else, by one of my friends at the time. Anyway, Prussia officially annexed the land here, but could not defend it. And to be honest, neither could the Danubian connection. So all this land really ended up in the hands of local controllers, because nobody could defend it. However, that was until Arabia claimed all of the land and went to war with Prussia during the revolution. Not the revolution that brought me to power in Arabia for a few weeks before I was then executed again, which pissed me off. But, yeah. Anyway, during this time, they sort of actually converted themselves to Christianity and declared war on both the Islamic State and the Danubian connection, or the Danubian Empire, not not the connection. That would be the tribal connection. So, because of this expansionism into this other land, they they had lots and lots of new resources. They could not. These guys lost control of a lot of the land south or in their western areas. The Prussians went to war with Arabia only for a little while, and actually the Arabians did land a few colonies in Prussia, or on the Prussian coast, I must say, right there, and right here. They had 3 colonies, and that was pretty much it for control. But that was only because they wanted peace. Like, they could have absolutely destroyed them if they wanted to. Anyway, a lot of the western lands of the Danubian connection, a relatively new nation, had declared that they did not want to be in a Danubian connection and that they were letting their own leaders lead them. It's essentially left them up to tribesmen, which meant that we did not classify them with a nation anymore. This also heavily divided these 3 from there. But so yeah, the rest of this week, you guys, I'm gonna step back a little bit from the war stuff right now, and I'm gonna say that the rest of this week I probably won't have anything coming out, because tomorrow, which is Monday, I'm supposed to go to the movies again with my mom's boyfriend and a bunch of my family. And if you don't know, my mama died like January 20th, I think it was. So it's been quite a time for us. And yeah, so we'll be spending some time with her, or with him, not with her, but with him, and all of my family will be doing that. And I paid today, so he's going to pay tomorrow. And also, we're just going to spend a lot of time this week doing different things. Like Tuesday, I'm going to, well, tomorrow I'm actually going to get a haircut from my cousin, which I plan to get on Wednesday. So that'll actually cut out one of the things that I have to do this week, which is absolutely flawless. So Tuesday I'm going to be with my cousin, Austin. Don't know if we're going to record there. Probably not. But, and then if we come back here on Wednesday, which I don't have anything planned for specifically, but he might be coming back here, and I might live stream Wednesday. Maybe, no promises. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I might contact my cousin Chad and go stay over there. And I might record over there, although I don't know if his computer will allow me to log in. But, yeah. Anyway, that's just describing this week. And then next weekend, I will have regular live streams like I normally do. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I think this is where I'm going to call it quits. We have the Danubian Empire declaring its independence and losing a lot of its western lands because of that declaration of independence, which meant that they no longer had the support of my army. Also, Arabia became Christian, went to war with several other nations, and generally expanded itself southward, which will kick off my rule over Arabia in the near future. The Islamic State continued to lose power, and my nation also lost power to the Danubian Empire, but I don't know why I keep on calling it my nation. At this point, it's not my nation anymore. Also, because of this, these are the two oldest capital cities. Berlin and Jerusalem. Anyway, hopefully you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure to slap that like button, comment, subscribe, do all of that grand stuff. And I'll see you all next time in my next video, in my next live stream, and in my next day. And honestly, hopefully you all had a great week. An absolutely awesome Easter. And the grand resurrection Sunday. I hope God blessed you with beautiful, beautiful gifts and delicious things and all that. And I'll see you all next video. Hopefully you all will enjoy that one as much as you enjoyed this one. Goodbye.